Some of the other opportunities on this machine, let me show you this next. So let me see if I can't get it all queued up here. So on this machine, let me see so you can see the actual claw. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give it a credit. So as you can see, it goes into place. Oh, it's actually working left and right now. Previously, it wasn't going left and right. Right now, it is going left and right. So let's see. I've already had this trolley off and kind of did a lot of changes and rebuilding. Yeah, let's give it a couple more run-throughs. Let's see if it's still working just like that. If I fixed it off camera without even really doing anything, I'm going to be pretty happy with myself. It did come with all these prizes as well. And we're going to open it up and take a look inside. Hey, we got a working claw machine, guys. I might end up replacing some of the gears. There you go. See, now it's not going left and right. This is what I was experiencing earlier. It's not going left and right, and one of the gears inside is worn out. So that is the problem. I've got a gear on order. It should be here very soon. So we'll probably replace that gear so that way we won't have to worry about that. Let's try it one more time. All right, so it goes right, it goes back, it comes forward, goes back. Now it's working left and right again, but it's not consistent. It's not where it would be location ready, in my opinion. I'd be afraid putting this out on location that it wouldn't work right, and we'd get a bunch of calls and complaints, which we don't want to do. So the only other thing I'm going to do on this machine, after I replace the lights on the sides and replace that gear, is we need to put a dollar bill acceptor in here. So we're going to move probably this coin mech right here and put a dollar bill acceptor in there, and then it should be location ready. Of course, it's going to need a good cleaning and all that good stuff. But yeah, so there's all that. That's kind of what we have in store for this machine. Here we go. So here's the gear that I think is worn out or has some sort of issue because it's not consistently engaged with this motor right here. So what we're going to do, well, maybe the gear. I don't know, maybe the gear's okay. Maybe it just needs a good cleaning because you can see it's got a bunch of grease in there that's kind of gross. So let's give that a clean and we'll see what happens first. Let's try that. Alright, I don't know if you can see it very well on camera, but here's the problem. So I was looking at the other side of the gear, and the other side of the gear is good, but right here there's a big worn out spot. So I know it's tough to see, but right here you can see it's real like concave and kind of worn away, and that's why it's working part of the time, but when it stops on this motor spindle isn't picking up that gear. So we are going to have to replace this gear. So let's go ahead and get set up. We'll replace the gear next. Alright, after a little sweat and some of the right tools, we finally got the gear changed out. So for future reference, that C-clip that we pulled off from down here has nothing to do with it. It's these two set screws. I don't know if you can see them in the camera. There's two set screws right here that need to come out. And those are what made the difference for us. So with that said, let's go and get it loaded back into the machine. And let's see how we did. I don't know if any of my adjustments are off or what. I'm just going to set some tools out of the way. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to try and put this back together how it's supposed to be. Make sure the wheels are on the tracks. I know I'm off camera right now, but I gotta get the wheels back on the rails. So let me get set up for that. All right, here we go. It's the moment of truth. Okay, back in the machine. Let's see how well our work turned out here. Okay, got that connected. Let's connect these plugs back up. This is always challenging to do one-handed, reaching into a cabinet like this. We'll get it done. Eventually. There's one. And there's the other. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to plug in the machine and power it up. It's not plugged in right now. So move the camera here so you can see. And let's see what happens. That's a good sign. All right, so let's give it a, let's coin it up and let's see what happens here. So far, so good. All right, so far I'm pleased with the results. Let's give it a few more test runs here. Couple things like are pretty easily winnable. Put some things over here, make it so you can't make it pretty easy here. All right, back and forth motion is good. Right and left is good. There we go, winner. All right, guys. So problem number one on the claw machine, I'm gonna say is solved. Let's give it a few more runs just in case. I'm not sure that is exactly correct. Let's see here. I think one of our wheels is a little loose up there, so we're gonna have to adjust that. We'll probably do that off camera though. But left and right is consistent, guys. That's exactly what we wanted to make sure was taking place. We wanted the left and right to work properly because it was not working correctly. Okay, yeah, that loose wheel just jumped off track. So you see that? So I had to adjust it. So we're definitely gonna have to adjust that wheel before we'll consider it location ready. Give it a couple more runs. There we go. All right. So we're going to call that, like I said, we're going to call that good. I'm going to adjust that front and back wheel that keeps jumping off track. It's a little loose. I'm going to make sure that's tight. And then we should be good to go to move on to the next step. So stick around. We'll be right back. All right. Here's a better look at the old gear that was in the claw machine. So if you look at this part, you can tell it's fine. And that's when it was sitting, when the motor was sitting against those pieces, it was fine. But when you come over here, I don't know if you can see that well. Look at it like this. See how it's like worn down right here in the middle? It's like concave. Let's see. See if I can get my camera to focus here. See how it's... There you go. There's a good shot of it there. See how it's like worn away? So right there you can tell when that part was up against the motor, it wouldn't catch. But as soon as it advanced a little bit, then it could start catching again. But when it was right there, that's when it wouldn't move back and forth. It would just, the motor would just spin because it wasn't catching the teeth, because the teeth are worn away there. So that was what was the problem with the left-right motor. So if you have a claw machine and it won't go left and right, check your gears, because that could be part of the problem right there. Crazy. I've never seen that before. But we solved it, so that's all that matters. Alright, we're on to the next step. And what we've done since our last section of the video is we've actually removed the coin mech and the blank spot where the dollar bill acceptor is going to go. So here's the coin mech, and it's just an electronic coin mech, and it's got the cord in there to kind of let the mech know what type of coin to accept. Plugs in right there electronically, so that's that. So we pulled that out. Now the bottom piece actually goes in like this behind it, and it actually allows the coin to drop in there and go down into the actual ramp, which I'll show you just here. That ramp inside the claw machine right there goes down to the coin box, and that's where the coins are stored. So that's how that works. So now that we've taken all that out, what we want to do is we want to clean this area real good here. So we're going to give it a good wipe down, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting the new dollar bill acceptor in here, and we got to blank this area out. So it doesn't come with a blank piece of metal or anything like that. So we had to get a little crafty. I'm going to show you what I did. Let me wipe this whole door down because it's a little dusty. We're going to have to clean this whole machine. But while I'm got the cleaning wipe here, I might as well just go ahead and give it a good wipe down in all these areas here. Alright, so with that wiped down, what I've done was I've actually taken a piece of Lexan. And Lexan, if you're not familiar with Lexan, it's a type of plexiglass. Now I know you say plexiglass, it's not a good idea. But this plexiglass, this is the thickest, hardest, strongest plexiglass you could buy. It's actually like a couple hundred times stronger than regular glass. So what I did was I cut it down to size, and I painted the one side black, and I used the appliance acrylic. So I'm just going to peel the backing off of it now, like so, and that's what the back looks like. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it here like so, and I'm going to put the bolts back in so it holds in place. So I'm going to do that just like that. Alright, so we got that all secured in place. That's good to go. So next what we need to do is we need to put this in. This is our Mars MEI, whatever you want to call it. This is a dollar bill acceptor. It's model number AE2651, and it takes the 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s, and 20s. So this is the good one, and it's got an extended magazine on it. So this one is going to be everything we need. But what I didn't have to get this one going, or why we didn't do this sooner, is I didn't have the harness. So this is the harness, and I just got this off eBay. I think it was like $13. And how the harnesses work is they take the 120 volts from the machine and convert it, well, they just put it into the actual dollar bill acceptor, and then they take the pulse signals that the dollar bill acceptor creates to communicate back to the machine. So these, it's funny because they have these small little plugs on them, but these big, real big plug over here. When I first started doing this, I wasn't sure how that worked, but really all it is it just plugs in like this on that very small part of it. Let's get that plugged in there. If I can line it up properly. The one pin is bent. Let me fix that pin. Okay, so there we go. Bent the pin back, plugged it in. So as you can see, there's extra pins up here. So don't be confused or afraid. That's how it's supposed to be. All right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to mount it into this hole right here. So let me back up the camera a little bit. And you're actually going to mount it from the inside of the hole. Now, notice we've got some ground wires over here. We're going to move all these wires out of the way. We're just going to kind of set it in place while we get everything squared away here. At least we're going to try to. And it doesn't look like this one wants to fit right away. Let's see what the problem is. That's why I had it up against the thing. Or actually, the bolts from this are getting in the way. That's my problem. So I'm gonna have to get smaller bolts for up here because what they're wanting to do is hit the front of this. So let me see if I have some smaller bolts on hand, and we'll get that taken care of. So we'll be right back. All right, so we got some smaller bolts installed, just something I had in the little parts bins. Let me make sure they're good and tight, so that way we're not losing those as we go on. All right, so now we're gonna test to see if this fits. So I'm just gonna position this here, open this way so you can see. And all I'm doing is I'm just dry fitting this into the position here to make sure that's gonna work. And fitting. Not really. Better than it was, but still not quite how we want it. So we're gonna see if we can't make that work. Let's put a couple of these things in and get it at least secured, so I don't have to hold it one-handed or two-handed like that, the way I was trying to hold it. Let's see if we can make this work. And getting these things started blindly can be a little frustrating. So let's see. I can't even find where I'm trying to work here. All right, I'm gonna go get that started, and then we'll move on to the next step again. All right, so we got it all secured, and it was quite a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. It's tough to get in there and get, where you can't see what you're doing and kind of getting your hands in between this. It was challenging, but we got it, and it's taken care of now. So here's what it looks like on the outside. As you can see, looks all professional and good. So the last thing we need to do is connect this to the existing harness, which is right here. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna make that connection. We're just going to kind of secure this as is. So the machine is plugged in right now, but it's powered off. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and power it on. And what we're looking at, we're going to listen for the sound for this thing to boot up. It should go through like a test phase where it makes like a little machine noise. So that's what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and turn this on. It's going to take a minute for it to kick on. All right, that's a good sign. Everything sounds like it should. So we should have the flashing yellow lights down here, so that's good. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a couple tests. So let me see if I can't get a better angle of this here. So I know you can't, so I've got a test dollar right here. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and just put $1 in there and see if it credits the machine. Okay, so we're looking for, there we go, 2 credits. Because it's set up on 50 cents right now, so we'll just kind of move this around for a second. All right, so that's good. We'll go and use the other one. We'll use the other credit here. Now this machine actually does have music as well, but it's so loud and I haven't messed with the volume. I just unplugged the speaker, so that's why there's no music happening right now. All right, so I'm going to call this success. So then we've got just 2 things left on this machine. We got to give it a good cleaning, and then we got to put our lights down the side. So I think the next step is we're going to do the cleaning, and then we're going to save the lights for last. So let me go ahead and get set up for that shot again, and we'll be right back. All right, cleaning time. Let's just give it a good wipe down. We'll do the glass, we'll do everything we need to do. There's a little bit of stickiness or adhesive left over in here, so I'll have to probably get some goo on or something for that. But yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and give everything a good wipe down. Clean the inside real good. So obviously we need to wipe down the whole complete rest of the machine, but there was one other thing I'm forgetting about too that we still need to do. So let me move this machine back a little bit. Okay, the one other thing we need to do is something that I had originally overlooked because it's working, so I wasn't even thinking about it. But what we need to do now is we need to add these belts. These belts go on the wheels. So we're going to disconnect that and take that out for just a minute here. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. All right, got it disconnected. Pull this thing out real quick so everyone can see exactly what we're going to do. All right, so now what we need to do, you can see our wheels here. These are our side wheels. There you go. So right now, you know, a normal person wouldn't know, but it's got these little grooves. You see right here? These little grooves right here and right here. And what those are for the belts, and that's going to help move things along. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these belts, I'm just going to put them right around the wheels, around those grooves, just like so. There we go. That's one side. That belt's on there properly. I'll do the other side real quick. And it might not make that much of a difference, but it's going to make our machine a little bit more stable. And probably not have some wear on the motors. All right, so we got the belt on both sides. Let's put it back in. That's good there. Go ahead and plug this back in. Tough to do one-handed, guys. I apologize. You can hear me. There we go. All right. So we got everything back in place. We're going to get powered off, powered back on, so it goes back to home. All right. There's all of our tests. We got our lights on. Let's go ahead and give it a free play credit. So those belts help with the back and forth smoothness. Left and right, we replace that gear. So it's good to go. All right, now the only thing that we have left are these LED lights. And then it's done. Of course, we're gonna give it a better wipe down, but these LED lights, and then this game, I mean, technically right now, technically, this game is location ready. But we want this game to pop. We want it to really show off its ability. We want it to attract players. And we're going to do that by getting these lights in these grooves down the sides here. So that's going to be our next step and our final step. And then we'll get it ready for the location. All right, that's the last step. Let's get it taken care of. All right, guys, we're on the final step. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the lights on the corners of the machine working. And to do that, we're actually going to replace the existing rope lights that are in there. So the previous lights ran on 12 volts, and the new lights that we're going to be using ultimately run on 12 volts as well. But we need to do a little bit of configuration with the wires, because it actually plugs into 120 volts and then steps down through the actual power cord. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up this compartment here. This is where the power supply, the PCB, and the light connections are. So let's open this up first. And it all slides out on this nice little convenient drawer. But our lights aren't working, so we're going to rip those out first. So here in the corner, I don't know if you can see it, is where the existing rope lights are. So we need to remove those. So we're going to shove this back in for just a second. And we are going to pull the key out of here, because we need to open up the big parts. Okay. The problem is you can't grab a hold of it. It's just so tightly in that space. There we go. So once you get it, then you can start pulling it up. All right, there's our first piece. And it is gross as can be. It's all sticky and it's been in that machine since the beginning, so. All right, next piece, we're gonna try and cut the inside again, just like we did on the last one. That seemed to help out. All right, we got all of the old rope lighting pulled out, and now we're on the final step. So the final step is to take this LED strip, and we're going to run it up. We're going to start down there. We're going to run up this side, through the inside of the top, and down the other side to where all the power supply and stuff is. So to do that, obviously, the connector for the power supply is on the loose end. So we're going to have to unroll this whole roll to get it where we want it to be. And this, I think, is a 16-foot roll. Let's see what it says on the box. It doesn't say on the box. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this is a 16-foot roll. If anybody is interested in doing this, I can supply them. I can put the link to the Amazon listing in the comments or in the description. So if you're interested in this, I will put that in the description, like I said. All right. So what's cool about this LED light too is it comes with its own adhesive strip on the back. So all you'll have to do is peel it off. I know it's going to be tough to see here, but all you gotta do is peel it off and it's already... Nope, I'm peeling the wrong stuff, aren't I? Am I? What am I doing wrong here? Yeah, I think I'm peeling the sticky stuff off. All right, let me fix this here. Yeah, I'm definitely pulling the adhesive off with it. So let me figure this out real quick. Let me get this started. Okay. All right, I'm back. So make sure that you only peel this brown paper away. And not the adhesive with it too. So what I'm gonna do, I know this sounds funny, but I'm actually gonna start and run it through on the power supply side, up to one side. Show you again. I'm going to put it in on the power supply side. I'm going to run it up that side, across, and down. I'm going to do it loosely and not stick it yet. So that's what I'm going to do real quick here. So all I'm doing. All right. So you see, I've got excess. So all I'm going to do now is stick it in that channel. I'm going to start right here at the edge. So I can pull a little bit of this back. Give myself some room to work. And I'm going to start by peeling the adhesive backing, but not the adhesive. So be careful of that. You only want to peel the backing. You want to leave the adhesive on there. So I'm just getting that started right here now. All right, so we got that peeled. That's the sticky part. And we're just going to go set it right in place in the bottom of the channel there. Then we're just going to work our way up. every so often it's going to rip away. So you're going to have to peel it a couple times. So that's all you do. You just keep working your way up. You get a razor blade out to get that little edge. See, I'm just working slow. You want to make sure that it's good and visible too. I'm going to try and get it right in the center of that channel. When you get up to this top corner, I know the lighting's probably bad, guys. I apologize. When you get up to this top corner, you want to be a little more careful, because what you're going to have to do is probably cut some of that adhesive off, or the backing, because we're going to go actually into the cabinet from this point. So I'm going to cut right here. No, I'm going to cut right here. So we're going to pull this part tight into the cabinet, like so. Like I said, I know it's probably tough to see. So this side is done right here. That side's completely done. All right, next we're gonna pull inside. See how it's just kind of hanging there right now? All this. We're gonna pull this tight back through. We don't necessarily need to stick on the inside of the cabinet because we don't really need to see that part. Now sure, that light's gonna light up this marquee area a little bit, but for the most part, we just want it nice and tight. So for now, I'm gonna close this door. And we're going to focus on this corner next. So this is probably the most, I don't want to say challenging, but the most frustrating part here is getting this backing off the adhesive in an area that you don't really have an area to work with. So I'm just using the razor blade. I'm just going to try to peel it away. I'm going to cut like a little slice, and I'm just going to try to peel it away with the razor blade. I know it's tough to see, guys. I know. All right. Got a good start here, so I'm going to just try to give a little rip. We're still not all the way through. All right, so now we got it pulled through. I just restuck it. Darn it. All right, there we go. So now we're just going to focus on sticking this back right down the middle again. All we're doing is we're peeling the backing like so. Just putting it right down the middle of this channel. Try to keep it as straight as possible. So we're just peeling that backing away as we travel down this little channel here. And if you don't get it straight, you can pull it away. It's not like super glue stuck, but it's pretty sticky. Move down. You gotta be careful. You'll start. Yep, I did. I went at an angle and I started peeling it away again. So in the event that happens, see if you can see here. I don't know if you can see that. It peeled away. So I'm just gonna go in there with a razor blade and pop that edge up. Peel it down so it's nice and even again. All right. Now that we got that, go ahead and stick that in place all the way down, and we're going to go all the way down to the bottom corner. I'm just working our way down. And once we get down to the very corner, you can see we're pretty much at, all we're going to do is we're going to take our adhesive down to where we think it's going to be, and we're just going to rip it off. Just like that. So on the inside, now we can pull this back through and see what that does. It just kind of creates a nice tight seam. All right. So now we can get rid of this. This is the backing. Now all we have to do is get power to this. So, all right guys, it's the very last step. So we're at the power supply. And what we need to do is we need to get power to this through this this transformer. So let's go ahead and connect that first. So with these, they've got little arrows. So this way is backwards. So we want to make sure we make it so the arrows are facing each other. So we're just going to click that in. This is a remote control receiver. We've actually got a remote control, so we can make it a specific color, or we can make it flash different colors and whatnot. So now the only thing we have to do is plug this in. So notice how there's 4 plugs here, but they're all full. So what I did was I actually just put together a little Y adapter. It's got a plug and then 2 female plugs. So that's how we're going to do that. We're going to just unplug one of these, like so. Plug this right in. And we'll plug these back into these, like that. Actually, you know what? Let's wrap this around here so it's kind of held in place. So there's that one. Now this one, we'll plug this into. Like so. Now what we want to do here is we want to be a little careful because we don't want to damage this LED strip. So I'm just going to push that back into place. And we're just going to set this inside here. Now ultimately, everything should work good. So I'm going to go ahead and plug the machine back in. It's plugged in. Now I haven't turned it on yet. Let me set up the tripod and we'll get a better shot of us turning it on. Alright, I'm going to turn the machine on. I don't know if the lights are going to come on when I turn the machine on because I might have to mess with the remote control a little bit. But let's turn it on and let's see what happens. Okay, notice there's no lights. Let's hit the power button on the remote control. I might have to be in the sight of the eye thing. There we go. All right, look at that. Oh yeah, guys. That is awesome. Look how bright those are. I know you can't see both sides right now. We'll set up another shot where we can see both sides real good. But check that out, guys. LEDs look awesome. Yeah, I'm impressed with that. That looks great. All right. Now I'm going to give it a final cleaning, and then we'll do a final show once I've got the final cleaning done. And then we're going to wrap this thing up and we're going to get it out on location. That's right, we're just about done, guys. Stick around, we'll be right back. All right, guys, there it is. There is the Hot Stuff claw machine. Everything is done. It is location ready. We've got the dollar bill acceptor installed. We've got the claw repaired and the gears working properly. We've got the new LED lights on the sides. It looks great. It's going to be great. I can't wait to get it on location. All right, let's take a look at it with the lights off. There we go. Check that out, guys. Look how bright that is. In a dark location, that's going to be awesome. It's got a bright, I think it's an LED light inside, but it's got the colorful LED lights on the corners. It looks great. I'm very impressed and very happy with how that turned out. So like I said, guys, we're going to get it out on location. So Tim O'Laughlin, I know you're out there. I know you're watching. How are you coming along with your claw machine? Have you gotten any progress done on it? I want to see you working on your claw machine and get it out on location as well. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, Galaxy Games 843 here on YouTube. We're growing, And we need your support, guys. So make sure you click that subscribe button, click the bell notification so you're notified when our new videos go live. Give us a thumbs up and share our videos, and also comment down below with everything else you'd like to see. Alright guys, again, I appreciate your support. This is Matt with Galaxy Games 843. We'll see you next time.